Hello everyone, MMC Fan here. Welcome to this really special video rounding off a project I've spent a few weeks working on over on Instagram, creating a full second wave of Marvel Legends for a movie that Hasbro desperately needs to return to, Spider-Man No Way Home. These are all custom edits. I've credited other creators if I've used their work down in the description. You can also find a link to my Instagram there if you want to see more of this series and any future ones I do too. Let's get stuck in. So the project started off looking much like this, and it wasn't at all difficult to produce a full 7-figure wave with a Build-A-Figure, plus a deluxe figure and a 3-pack as well. There is so much in this film. It was really fun to just kind of pack this entire wave out. I know Hasbro usually mixes movies with comics within waves these days, but they've done a few MCU only waves, and if any film warranted it, it would be this one. Two things to mention before I go through. These designs were produced before Hasbro changed their packaging, that's why it looks like the old stuff, and the legend that is Ned Leeds is not included, and this is deliberate because Hasbro have literally just released him as a figure. So kicking us off is the deluxe figure. I was in two minds as to who this should be, but eventually settled on arguably the best Marvel villain portrayal of all time in film, which is of course Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. This may be wishful thinking, but I upgraded him to a deluxe so he could have the No Way Home version of his iconic glider, plus a ton of accessories. I'm really glad with how this came out. So the base figure is the same as the Raimi version, but with his added armor pieces and weapons, plus 3 interchangeable heads, the iconic Goblin mask obviously, a hooded and goggled head, and then just plain old scary Defoe. He also has interchangeable hands, one of which holding a pumpkin bomb, a damaged version of the helmet to recreate that moment in the film that he leaves it behind him, and then 2 loose pumpkin bombs as well. This is a lot of stuff, but if Hasbro did this, it would be a bestseller for sure. Moving on to the main wave, I of course had to start off with Spidey himself, but chose his suit from the end of the film to make sure that it's something new. And also joining him was Doc Ock. So Spidey is very similar to previous MCU versions, but with that awesome return to the red and blue colour scheme that I think everyone loved. The updated emblem on the chest, the addition of painted web lines, and then swappable head and hands as well. You'll also notice I've added Lizard's leg, as he would be the Build-A-Figure for this wave. And then Doc Ock, just about crammed into a regular box, but he's obviously the one with no Build-A-Figure piece for that reason. Again, he's the Raimi version with the updated belt piece and turtleneck, and then aside from 2 interchangeable hands, his accessories are his arms. I've included the spike that he tries to stab Peter with, and added the nano parts, the little red nano parts, to his arms to set it aside from the original Raimi version as well. Next up, it's our third villain, Electro, and Zendaya's MJ, who I think is overdue an update in Marvel Legends form. So Electro is quite an ambitious figure, as I've used a lot of the Hot Toys one as reference, which is obviously from a bigger scale, but you can see he comes with a regular head and electricity head, and this is something that Hasbro would 100% do, the same way they did with Icarus from the Eternals. He also has electricity and wires added to his outfit. That's a really cool outfit, and then some loose electricity pieces as well, which will really help with the posing. These are Endgame Thor's lightning pieces, but just in yellow. He also has Lizard's other leg. MJ I'm really proud of because this is exactly what Hasbro would do. One new moulded piece, which is the cube, the box from the film, a very important accessory, and then everything else there is just recoloured or repainted versions of the Homecoming MJ, but it still looks identical to her outfit from the start of the film, which is probably why it looks the most real out of any of these. Hasbro would be all over that convenience for sure. She also comes with both of Lizard's arms. Moving on to the next two, we have Sandman as the next villain, and long overdue, a Marvel legend of any kind if you ask me, the debut of Aunt May in Hasbro form. These two aren't the best edits of the group, and that's because there was very little reference material available, but you get the idea. Sandman, I've gone for his human-sized form, which I feel is the most sensible, and I've included the same accessories that the recent comic Sandman came with a bit of a recolour. I've also changed his regular feet to piles of sand, which will make him a bit more unique, and then that also makes him more posable as well without him falling over all the time. This one gets rounded off with the smallest part of Lizard, which is obviously the head. And then Aunt May is an odd one because I think it was important to use her outfit from her main scene from the film, which actually turned out to be this very plain blue gown with a red tie and then no shoes or socks. But Marissa Tomei definitely pulls the look off, so that's what I've gone with. She also comes with the Goblin cure she attempts to run out with, and interchangeable hands as well. As she's possibly the least interesting of the bunch, I've included the largest part of Lizard, another move that Hasbro would definitely pull. And then lastly, rounding off the main wave is the Build-A-Figure, of course, and Matt Murdock. I chose Matt not because he's a main part of the film, but because Hasbro loves a reason to make a fan favourite character from a modern film that they know their customers will buy because they're using it as something from older content, if that makes sense. So for example, making an awesome new Teen Groot for Love and Thunder. Teen Groot is barely in Love and Thunder, so they know full well that people are actually going to put him straight with Infinity War, Guardians or Endgame stuff, and that's the same principle here. Matt was a nice easy edit, grey suit, white shirt, black tie, with a Charlie Cox head, stick of course as an accessory, and probably my favourite accessory in the whole wave, a hand catching a brick, as after all that's pretty much all he does in the film. He also comes with the last part of Lizard, the tail, which rounds off the Build-A-Figure. For this, I've just used the Diamond Select Lizard as reference, as his look between No Way Home and Amazing Spider-Man 2 is just no different. And then that just leaves the 3-pack, which I imagine everyone would have guessed, even if I hadn't included it in the thumbnail. And it is of course Peter 1, Peter 2 and Peter 3. Hasbro did most of the work here because they actually revealed their 3-pack during the process of making these, and I haven't touched the figures themselves at all. I have, however, added the 3 actor heads because it's a travesty that they aren't included in the official one. To keep Tom's interesting, I've also added some blood detail to make it unique and, sell well on the secondary market because it would be unique to an expensive set. I've also added a portal, which would be the same one from Defender Strange, and web pieces as well, and I believe they are coming with web pieces, so that's not too much of a stray from the official one. I think the addition of the portal and the heads though make this worth the $99.99 that Hasbro are asking. It's just a real shame that they are doing them without, and it's probably a licensing thing. And there you have it. This is the wave in all its glory. Would you buy these? That's the question. Do you think we may see some of these in the future anyway? I feel like Green Goblin, Doc Ock and Electro are very likely to come in the future, but given how busy Hasbro are making stuff from even newer content than this film, it's not certain. I'm not really sure when they will announce anything if they do. Thanks everyone for watching, especially if you've come to my channel for the first time just to see this video. I really appreciate it. Please hit subscribe if you've enjoyed this content and give me a follow on Instagram. The link is in the description. And let me know in the comments which one of these is your favourite. Which one would you buy straight away and put pride of place on your Spider-Man shelf? I'll definitely be doing more of these in the future because they were really well received and I had a ton of fun doing it, so I think Infinity Saga Wave 2 might be on the horizon for me, so make sure you follow me on Instagram for more information on that. Thanks everyone, keep on collecting.